Scott just made the point.
Thomas Jefferson,
Jefferson used to be a lot more secure. Not just. Who thinks you need to be lied to get laws made which he is glad that you're too stupid to understand? Oh yeah, why that would be MIT's Jonathan Gruber, the architect of Obamacare, and he was caught on video saying just that. I'm Steve Green. This is Trifecta, and because we think you're smart enough to handle the truth, here are Scott Ott and Bill Whittle to bring you some. All right, gents, Gruber was speaking last year to a UPenn group which posted an hour-long video of the event online. Now, somebody actually sat down and finally watched the whole thing, saw this quote, and put 52 seconds of it up on YouTube. Now, for legal reasons that I'll explain later, we're a little nervous about running the clip ourselves, but I will stick a link to it at PJTV and at vodkaputter.com. But the meat of what Gruber said is in this. It's right here. He said, lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever, but basically, that was really, really critical to get the thing, to get Obamacare to pass. And you know, it's a second best argument. Look, I wish Mark was right that we could make it all transparent, but I'd rather have this law than not. So it's kind of like his reporter story. There's things that I wish we could change, but I'd rather have this law than not. You can't handle the truth. All right, Scott, when I sent the video out to everybody on Monday, you put your journalist training to work, and you asked me a couple of questions. You asked who the audience was, and we've since learned that Gruber was speaking to the University of Pennsylvania's 24th Annual Health Economics Conference. You also asked what the context was of his remarks. So I'm going to turn that one back on you. In what context could Gruber not have been calling the American people a bunch of idiots who need to be lied to so that he can get his pet legislation passed?
Well, I mean, in all honesty, I've been writing a website called scrappleface.com since about 2002 that does political satire, and I've written many things like this, you know, and I'm proud of it. And so I guess in that context, I could see if he was doing some sort of parody. You know, what's striking about this is you said at the beginning in your introduction that he was caught on tape. What's striking about this is that he wasn't caught on tape. He knew he was on tape. And he wasn't shy about it at all. He wasn't, whispering conspiratorially. He wasn't saying, hey, just between the two of us. It was the flat-out fact of the matter that he was stating baldly and openly and unashamedly. And that is what's so shameful about it.
And, you know, this thing went viral on the internet on Monday. And at least as of about 9 o'clock this morning, the New York Times and the Washington Post still had done absolutely nothing on him. Okay, Bill, you have a reputation for plain speaking, and I think it's a well-deserved one. But when Jonathan Gruber says that, quote, lack of transparency is a huge political advantage because of the stupidity of the American voter, well, can even you get more plain-spoken than that? What do you think he was really trying to say?
I think what he was trying to say was lack of transparency is a political advantage, and it depends on the stupidity of the American voter. That's what he was trying to say. You know, when I see people like this, I don't know what has been drawing me to this. This is 6 months now. I've been doing nothing but studying the Bolsheviks, nothing but. That's all I do is I read about Lenin. I read about the revolution in 1905, the two revolutions in 17, Lenin transition to Stalin, the whole thing. The Soviet system was the product of Soviet intellectuals like this guy, smart people, elite people who know better than everybody else, and it led to the greatest mass murder in human history. There's a story that comes out of this period. Of all the things I read, I highlighted this one. It was a woman whose family was close to Stalin, and over the course of the purges and so on, Stalin murdered her husband, murdered her father, murdered her two children, murdered her sister. And she somehow managed to survive, and she said, you know, despite all of this, I still believe in communism. And there you go. This idea is a religious belief where the sacrifice of people, the sacrifice of people's lives, sacrifice of people's health is subservient to the great dream. And whatever has to happen in order to bring the great dream to earth, paradise to earth, will happen. And to hell with individuals, because there are no individuals. There's only the great goal of this universal utopia that's always just around the corner. And this guy is exactly the same kind of guy as the guys that created the Soviet state. Intellectuals who thought they knew better for other people's lives than the other people did and had nothing but contempt for people. He refers to them in the Soviet Union as the masses. I have no doubt at all this Gruber would refer to the American people as the masses. It's a nation of individual citizens. We're not the masses. This guy can go pound sand.
Yeah, the great dream. It's a nightmare. Even the dream sucks. Forget about the implementation. All right, folks, it got a little weird trying to show you the clip because Penn took down the video, which caused a big fuss. Then they put the video back up, but they never explained why or why they even took it down in the first place. So we're in kind of a legal limbo here. But I would like to leave you with one last thought before you click on the link to go watch Gruber for yourselves. Jonathan Gruber and every politician, every journalist, every pundit who hid the truth about Obamacare's taxes, who hid the truth about its costs, who lied to you about keeping your plan or keeping your doctor, they lied to you because they think that you are the means to their ends. Now, there's a word for something or someone which serves as the means to someone else's ends. It starts with a T, and it rhymes with fool, and that's the truth. For everybody at PJTV, I'm Steve Green.